So news just broke out that Don Lemon was finally arrested after a week of him storming a church, harassing people, um, probably traumatizing people and children. And I heard a couple of cases where people actually got hurt and had to go to the hospital. Like I think this man broke his arm. Somebody pushed him and he fell and broke his arm. And they were impeding them from leaving the church when they stormed it. Highly illegal, highly against the Constitution. And thanks to Joe Biden, actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, but actually, I'm glad that Joe Biden came up with the FACE Act and it was passed, because I think that's what they're pressing charges with, is the FACE Act, and that was supposed to be for, the abortion clinics, but they added churches on there just to get it passed. And I'm not the one that hopes that people get thrown into prison. I believe that people can be redeemed. People can change, but when you do something like this, there has to be a consequence, because if nobody does anything, guess what? More people are going to do it around the country. And I hope they set an example for Don Lemon here. I'll be happy even if he gets a couple years in prison, dude. Even if it's like 2 years, I'll be happy. From what I've heard, it might be 10. It probably won't be 10. I just hope it's a couple years. But anyway, yep, he just got arrested this morning. And let's go ahead and see what the news article says about it.
Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember, the feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him.
The government had to go through 3 judges, and all of them said no. These far left liberal judges, they're activists. They're not judges, they're activists. These people need to lose their jobs. It's crazy to me. That 3 judges wouldn't sign off on him getting arrested.
There was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as DeWoke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested, but we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers.
So I think it's just crazy how Democrats made the FACE Act, and now we're using that FACE Act against a Democrat. That's poetic in itself. And this is good. This is a good thing, guys. I'm really happy, like, as a Christian. It makes me feel joy in my heart that the government has our backs. Just imagine if this was under Joe Biden, we would have never seen anything happen. He would have still been out there with his chest out saying, "Oh, come arrest me." And he's just sitting here asking for it. He wants to be a martyr, and he's going to get his wish. Be a martyr. Let the left elevate this goober as their freaking Lord and Savior. This dude is a pathetic loser, has no talent. And even then, the big, like the top Democrats aren't even talking about this. They don't even want to even talk about this because they know that they will lose votes if they sit here and support Don Lemon. The only people that are supporting him are just the far left liberals, like freaking Harry Sesson or something. And it's funny because he does all this and nobody has his back. Nobody even knows who he is. He tried to do something like, he tried to pull like a liberal Nick Shirley on the church, and it failed miserably. If this is your guys' Nick Shirley, you guys are screwed. You guys will never be taken serious again. And here's a statement from his attorney. I just want to say to take a look at this statement. It says the Don Lemon Show on the top, and it has him on the bottom holding the mic like he's some sort of speaker, like he's some sort of famous person. It's funny because once he gets thrown into prison, this show is done for. But on the statement, it says, a statement from Abe Lowell. So if you don't know who that is, that's the dude that was helping out with all the Black Lives lawsuits that went on with George Floyd. So this dude is a professional attorney agitator. Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. So if you don't hate the Grammy Awards enough, this should make you not want to watch him ever again. This dude literally stormed the church, but they're allowing him to do like an interview for the Grammys. The Grammys is so woke and so lost. They should be ashamed of themselves. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. That's a lie. He used to be a CNN anchor, and then he got let go because he sucked and his views were down, and they couldn't afford it no more. So they're like, hey, we gotta let you go. He's just trying. He is not a journalist. He is not. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists, and he's not a journalist, whose role is it to shine the light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don Lemon to be doing this work. He stormed a church. What in the world are you talking about, brother? He wasn't infiltrating a freaking KKK member, whatever you guys like to say. He was storming a church. People that had nothing to do with this protest, just because they didn't want to speak out against the ICE agents. That's why they stormed their church. That was the sole reason. This is a hate crime. Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed 2 peaceful Minnesota protesters, the Trump Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest, and that it is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. Both shootings were justifiable. I'm sorry. You may not agree with the outcome. A lot of people may say, you know, they would have not have done that. But by the law, it was justifiable. If you don't like the law, go ahead and try to change it. Good luck with that, though. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Many crises. I love how the losing party tries to sit there and say this administration is failing. You guys lost the election. People voted for deportations. He ran on it. You guys are just sore losers. All you guys are sore losers. Don Lemon will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. This is a statement from the guy that took the cop that kneeled on George Floyd's neck to court. So this guy will probably fight tooth and nail. He probably got paid a lot from Don Lemon. I don't know how he paid him because he's a loser. Probably took out a loan to pay this guy. But anyway, this statement is useless. He's just throwing this out there to make himself look better. So attorneys like this are just race baiters. They have no lives. They're just a bunch of losers that just want to suck off of people's fear and make money off of it. And he's trying to make this dude look like, oh, he's a peaceful reporter that just happened to stumble upon this. Brother, look at the videos. Multiple videos. He threw himself under the bus. If he just happened to be there and didn't record all that stuff, he probably would have got away with it. That's the funny part. He put incriminating evidence on himself because he wanted to make himself look like such a good reporter. Trying to make a virtue signal to everybody that, oh, I'm trying to save democracy, guys. If he pulled up to the church and he just walked in there, asked some questions and left, that's different than him recording himself being a part of this. He was a part of this. This isn't investigative journalism. So anyways, what do you guys think about this video? Are you glad that he got arrested? I kind of am. And I hope that he gets put away for a long time. At least a couple years, at least 2 years. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.